you from the subject this morning, hard to kill. Look at your neighbor and tell him, I know I might not look like it, but I'm hard to kill. I mean that. I'm hard to kill. It seems that those who seem to have it hard always get more done. One old preacher said that we ought to be good to everybody because everybody is going through a tough time. Oh, amen. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, I shared this with the early morning service. He said, there hath no temptation, no trouble taken you, but such as common unto man. But God is faithful, who will not, please get this part. I didn't mention this in the early morning. He said, but God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted or tested above that which you are able. That's where you get to say, God won't put more on you than you're able to bear. Yeah. He said, but he will with the same temptation or the same trouble also make a way of escape. Ooh. Isn't that something? He said, God said, while you're in trouble, he said, I'll use the trouble that you're in to open a door for you to get out of it. That's good news. See, God is no respecter of person. He has no pets. In spite of this, we sometimes feel like victims. Do I have a witness in the house? I don't know if you about you, but every now and then I feel like I'm being victimized. Every now and then I want to ask God, why are you allowing this to happen to me? Why are you allowing people to talk about me like a dog and I ain't done nothing but try to help them? Why do you have folk? Why do you allow it? I know you don't ask that. It's just me. I'm sorry. Why? Anybody ever ask why? Because y'all just looking at me like, no, I don't never ask why. I just go with the flow. You a lie. You. Seems that we suffer sometimes far more than others. But this is simply not the case. Everybody goes through. It rains on the just, even as it rains on the unjust. Our hearts go out to those who are at war right now, as well as those who are recovering from nature's fury. What can we learn about them and thus about ourselves? Well, we don't have many answers about this problem, but God promised that we will understand it by and by. You ever been in some trouble and you couldn't figure out how you were going to get out of it? Yeah, and then when you did get out of it, you look back and say, "Oh Lord, I learned so much from the trouble that I was in." Trouble is not bad. Some trouble is sent to help you. I read about a guy who was fired for refusing to do something unethical that his boss had asked him to do. His unemployment was a problem, but it saved him from being convicted and sent to prison a year later when management's actions were eventually discovered. The experiences in Joseph's life taught him that God brings good from evil for those who trusted him. Joseph, in essence, said to his brothers, God is the only one true surge protector. But then he also uses our troubles, the surge of our problems, to perfect us. I said to perfect us. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 4 says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations. Knowing that tribulation or trouble works patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. See, problems when responded to correctly are character builders, and God is far more interested. He's far more interested in your character than your comfort. God don't care nothing about you being comfortable. He's more concerned about your character being built. He's more concerned about what's on the inside of you coming to fruition. Yeah, that's what God is going. Your relationship to God and your character are the only two things you're going to take with you in eternity. Your relationship with God and your character are the only two things that you're going to take into eternity. Watch this right here. Problems we run into on earth will develop our patience, which in turn will strengthen our character, deepen our trust in God, and give us greater confidence about our future. God uses our surges of problems, in conclusion, my brothers and sisters, to project us. Yeah, he uses them to direct us, to inspect us, to correct us, to connect us, to protect us, to perfect us, and then finally to project us. Philippians chapter 1, verse 12 says this, but I would you should understand, brethren, that the things which happened unto me have fallen out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel. The problems that I was having, the people who were talking about me, turned out to be good because it pushed me to further the gospel. In other words, God will sometimes use a surge of trouble to make you open your mouth and tell the world how good God has been to you. See, the surge of trouble focuses us outwardly on what is most important. It furthers God's cause. For God to make manifest the fact that he gives songs in the night, he must first make the night. In order for God to convince you that he can deliver you out of trouble, he must first send. See, did you know that an eagle knows when a storm is coming before it arrives? See, here's what the eagle will do. The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the winds to come. When the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. All right, y'all ain't getting this. While the storm is raging below, the eagle is soaring above it. See, the eagle does not escape the storm. The storm is still there. It simply uses the storm to lift it higher. It rises on the winds that bring the storm. When the storms of life come upon us, we can rise above them by setting our minds towards God. The storms do not have to overcome us. We can allow God's power to lift us above the storms. Look at somebody and say, I'm about to rise above my storm because I'm hard to kill. Listen, let me tell you something. They don't want no preaching. Don't even get started. It is not the burdens of life that weigh us down. It's how we handle them. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31 says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up on wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. I don't know what you're going through. No, I don't know what kind of trouble you may be going through. But God is still at work in your life. Even when you don't recognize it or understand it, he is in the storm with you. He's calling you to rise above the storm. The Bible says, blessed is the man that endureth trouble. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. Those who go through fire or water should remember it is God's way of refining and cleansing you. Trouble is simply the factory God is using to manufacture the right kind of product in your life. So it does not matter what you're going through. You need to be able to stand and say, come what may, come what will, I'm hard to kill. Talk about me as much as you please. The more you talk, I'm going to bend my knees. Trouble on every side. I have to cry sometimes, but that's all right. God will. Look at somebody and tell them, God will deliver you whatever you